August 15th. Hewley's rheumatism in his back, bad today. He remembers when Molly's arthritis hit her, it come like lightning, like a windfall, sudden like. Nobody knowed what to do, and she couldn't work, couldn't take care of the children. Salesmen come around taking orders for hot water heaters. I put one in. He said it'd be a while, said it'd be about 2 weeks. I said, I got to have one right away, right now. Sell me that and I'll pay you $1. $2 and it's yours, he said. So I give him 2 extra. Because the Ubonnies had said a long hot soak in boiled pokeweed was good for the rheumatism. One afternoon, I went around the side of the mountain and dug up a whole sack full of that stuff for her and cooked it, cleaned up an oil drum and filled it, stirred in the poke juice and heated it up as much as she could stand, and lifted her up into it with all her clothes on. I'd go up there every day and lift her in and lift her out. That heater worked just fine, just like that salesman said, but it didn't help her none. Sometimes you can't do nothing, but you never know till you try. And sometimes you can. I knowed a feller Jones I worked with, putting up hay. It hit him all of a sudden one morning, and he quit at noon. Quit at noon and went out to Hot Springs, Arkansas, out for the cure. Steam baths, sweat, 2 big niggers rubbed him down. He said that sweat just busted out of him, poured out all over him. He said he looked down. He smelt that nicotine, like juice oozing out. Then he said he seen the nicotine coming out of him, sweated out of his pores. Said that sweat was dark as tobacco juice. Well, after about 2 weeks, Jones come on home, and it never bothered him again. August 15th. An awful lot of salesmen and peddlers roamed around back then. Mother'd put 'em up for days at a time, them and them hellfire and brimstone preachers. Then they set up a commissary over at the quarry and stocked it with everything in the world. I could buy me a slice of cheese, a nickel's worth of crackers. They had 'em a big barrel, a bottle of pop, and that'd make me a meal. I'd sit on the porch and watch everybody. And the sweetest smells blowed out of that door. Soap and licorice, cheese, cakes, breads, new cloth, ham or rawhide, apples, varnish, and everything fresh and mingled together. They even had a machine there that was like life. You drop a penny in. Hewley drops in his imaginary penny, lifts his arms and grips the 2 imaginary handles wide apart with trembling arms. You could test how much juice you could stand. You'd squeeze 'em, and the harder you squeezed, the more juice went into 'em. Hewley's arms quiver with the memory, age, the shock of childhood. Well, I could stand right much, more than most, I reckon. But finally I had to let go too. He smiles, dropping his arms akimbo. His hands float to rest on either knee, slowly, drifting down like wide wings, like a pair of ancient hawks gliding home, to roost on familiar limbs across the hollow. This is October the 17th again, and something strange has happened just now. There's the most wonderful array through the south window. The scarlet and purple and orange and green and yellow of the dogwood. The green and yellow of the poplar to the left. The pink and red vermilion of the maple through the window in the roof above the dogwood. This wondrous orange and pink of the maple beyond the dogwood. Beyond that, other tints of deciduous trees, mostly yellow and orange, some green, and the green gold of the white pine, the white pines in the pine grove that's springing up in front of the cabin, and then in the far background, the dark green and almost black, shadowy green of the white of the great mother pine that towers over the clearing. And in the window, sailing across the south window, are the words from the title of a Fred Chappell book, I am one of you forever. I am one of you. I've cut out of a shape that looks like a boat, and forever is perpendicular to that in the shape of a sail. I just now wrote a poem to Alex because he's always kidding me about these words. He thinks they're kind of ridiculous cliches, Hallmark greeting card words. I think he's right, and I think I'm right to keep them in the window. Whenever I see them, I'm looking through them, looking through the stereotypes, through the aperture of the words. And so I finally wrote about that. October the 16th, words for Alex. In the depth behind the word, you. Through the holes in the word, in the words, I am one of you forever. I read the leaves, the pine tree, the sunlight, the mountain, and the shadows in the fire, in the maple leaf that falls now from the eternal sky, and the eternal sky. Somehow it seemed important to capture that poem on the tape, on its leaf, just as it falls. Would never have happened but for that maple leaf that drifted across the window just as I was writing.